Joey had to leave because he had class at 3, and it's 3:30.
The current irrationality of our outdated contemporary education system is seemingly unapparent to the masses, and no one seems to actually desire to make a change, the drastic change that is needed. And I can say that I have personally seen firsthand the disparities between educational programs based on districting and privatization, and I think it goes largely unnoticed by those who are forced to engage in the tyrannical monotony that are our nation's scholastic paradigms. For I have seen firsthand the pristine buildings paved with hallways of marble and concrete, designed by the hand of an architectural god, the same one that first constructed the campus of UCLA on pen and paper. That was El Segundo High School, a school in an affluent suburb where Teslas are as common as the pale-skinned white folk that seem to live there. I have seen firsthand the gum-covered concrete sidewalks that seem to only pass as hallways in inner-city schools whose students' populace's complexions only seem to parallel the color of the hardened charcoal black pieces of gum that stain the campus, that of which they study. I have seen firsthand the educational opportunities only afforded to those whose pockets seem to be lined with green because they are seemingly the only people who seem to actually be seen. So yes, sir, excuse me if I am tired of the exploitation of those whose socioeconomic status does not afford them the possibility of saving their children from the brainwashing that is Common Core. Bottom line, fuck Common Core. There isn't anything common about our entirely subjective and individual minds, for we each are unique in our own creative and intellectual right. Common Core is just a way for those in power to make us at the bottom common followers. Common followers that don't vote. Common followers whose political efficacy is benign at best. For this very education system that we have been a part of for the better part of our lives has been failing most of us because it isn't for us. It's for the stenciling of robots whose only purpose is to follow and then be replaced by the next generation. So yes, it is time to rise and make a difference. We need not to just separate our students by just their age, but rather by personality or even mental maturity, for we all do not progress at the same rate. We all do not learn the same way just by our age. We need to stop subjecting our youth all to the same paradigms of education. We need to allow our children to express themselves more, not less. We need to stop cutting back on the arts, stop cutting back on the sports. We need to give our children every opportunity to explore every facet of their individual cerebral and sensory interest, not limit them to what we adults see as most essential, or only give those opportunities to those who are in the 1%, to those who can afford to send their kids to private schools or to the top public schools in the country. And the best way to do this, the best way to make a difference is through voting. Yes, that which we all seem too lazy to accomplish. Vote for more funding, petition for education reform, call your respective politicians and tell them what we want. Tell them that we want our children to succeed. Tell them that we want our children to have the same and equal opportunities as those from a higher socioeconomic status. For we are all the masters of our own destinies. Our subjective truths about our own selves should be the objective truths we strive to actualize. And that is what our education system should both endorse and support. And I believe that most of us can agree that our world needs to change. And grassroots movements start from the roots, and the roots of our world are our youth. And I can say that I have been to those three types of schools: the inner city school, and the public school, and the affluent public school, and a private school. It's time to make a difference.